Today we're going to talk about women sharing stories of fulfilling their fantasies, but regretting it.
Finally get your fantasy to happen, and then you realize that should have stayed a fantasy.
A lot of people that like watch or fantasize from TV, and then they realize, you know, this is not as fun as I thought it was.
Literally, that's a lot of the stories.
I don't want to be eaten out by a vampire with fangs on my period. No.
Honestly, that would be a convenient circumstance. Think about it. Vampires need blood. Period makes a lot of blood. Vampire go flurp flurp.
Let's get into it, of women sharing their stories of failed fantasies. You want to start?
Okay, sure. Boyfriend at the time asked me to ass. In addition, wanted me to eat ass beforehand.
Boyfriend wanted me to ass, but eat it first.
Eat it, then it.
You don't where you eat.
You don't want to what you eat. Or you don't want to eat what you
You don't want to where you eat it.
The second my tongue hit the runway, he yelped and said, I'm not clean, I'm not clean.
I love the image of a guy like just bent over on all fours being, I'm not clean, I'm not clean.
That was a no-go for a germaphobe.
Wait, he's a germaphobe, but he requested that she eat ass?
Yeah, why would he eat if he's a germaphobe?
Why would he want his ass eaten if he's a germaphobe? Who convinced him to want this?
To try. I saw a reply to it that said, this is so relatable. To who?
Which aspect is relatable? The
aspect. But apparently has a ton of prep.
Yeah, why would you want to do sexy with...
Apparently you need to like really...
It's not even butt stuff. If you're doing front stuff and you're not clean.
No one wants schmegma, no one wants pussy crust, no one wants any of that.
Pussy crust?
I don't know.
Pussy crust just sounds like a pie flavor.
Pussy crust doesn't sound like a good pie flavor.
You put the pussy in the oven for 350 degrees for 20 minutes. Here's a story called Elevator BJ.
Okay.
The elevator door opened mid-job. It was security. There were cameras in the elevators.
Oh,
This would be an opportune time for saying going down.
This is wrong on so many levels.
It's right on so many levels.
Our parents walked in on us.
Our parents walked in on us?
That's the top response.
I always miss that. Our parents.
And then the reply is national anthem of Soviet Union starts playing. Our parents.
That is both a communism joke and a West Virginia joke.
It had no more context, but I really want to know what the was happening.
Yeah, you can't just drop that and say our
they...
parents. There's three situations here. Communist Russia. It's probably the least common of the situations.
Yeah, probably.
Second is incest. And the third, imagine how uncomfortable you'd be if you married a girl and then your mom married her dad.
Oh.
It's possible. Sure, it's happened.
Stepmom.
If your mom married her dad, then yes, he'd be a stepdad, but then she'd be a stepsister wife. You'd have a sister wife.
Stepsis wife?
Anyone out there, if your mom marries your fiance or partner's parent,
okay,
you need to do and say step sibling because it is actually step sibling.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm requesting it. I got another poetic one. Anal plus constipation equals explosive decompression.
You've opened the floodgates.
Imagine you're constipated and you get anal done, and it's just the feeling.
You get anal on or you get anal done?
Anal done, like a procedure. Imagine you just go to the doctor.
Procedure?
Yeah, you go to the doctor's like, Doc, I'm really constipated. He's like, I know what to do.
We're gonna have to use my for those.
Imagine the feeling of relief of being constipated and you get shoved in your butt, and then out comes the floodgates.
I don't know how the anatomy of this works, but do you think that this would push the poop in deeper?
I actually imagine it is the exact same situation as using a plunger on a toilet. It's every thrust is like a vacuum seal, like pushing air in until it has nowhere else to go but out.
You know how apparently the is designed as a shovel to like scoop cum out? Yes, that's technically your poop.
I don't think that it works that way in the butthole, but maybe.
Oh God.
Oh God, this is the one that you're not gonna like. I was dating a guy who was into the idea of male chastity.
What's chastity?
Chastity is no like preventive. Like you put on a belt that's like.
Do you get teased somehow or something?
There's a lock on it and you just can't have.
That sounds awful. People have interesting kinks.
On a scale of chastity to stilettos on balls, I would rather be chastised. That's not the right word.
That's not, yeah. That means something completely different, right?
The person says, I'm not particularly kinky, but I'll do anything once. So he bought himself a little cage, tested it out for a couple of hours, and announced that he was good to go when I went away. We were long distance, so we went away for a while. So like, let's imagine a 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But imagine you wore a chastity belt the entire time.
Holy fuck. Someone would die. Whether it's me or someone else, someone would die.
So I went away for a week. I lock it closed.
How do you piss?
Let me get there. And then I go back home. Situation, guy has cage on penis.
Yeah.
1 week, girl is gone. The thing about dong cages, love that, is that you wear them pretty much constantly. This includes while peeing. One thing that doesn't feature a lot of chastity is hygiene. or how to clean yourself off while you're locked away in a tube that occasionally traps someone's pee in it.
Oh my God.
I came back after a week to find what describes as the worst case of nappy rash you could possibly imagine. Apparently, he was of the opinion that it was normal and that the discomfort was all part of the experience. This guy was peeing into a test tube that locked and kept it there, like fermenting kombucha.
Oh my God.
He made kombucha out of his
Oh, kombucha. Ew, bro.
He made kombucha.
Dude, that's so bad. That's like the worst thing I've ever heard of. I don't like this. This one I don't like. Anal. Definitely anal. Did all the preparation, had lube, but my body didn't like it. Floods of poo everywhere. Like molten lava.
Release the dam.
I'm still not entirely sure where it all came from. The cleanup was horrible. Had to buy a new mattress too. Can you imagine Moses parting the cheeks and just poop just bulldozes its way through the hole?
It's the imagery of I don't know where it all came from. Imagine like a 100-pound girl releasing probably a gallon of
Oh, I don't want to imagine. That actually made me upchuck a little. Holy fuck, that's bad. How do you guys do it?
It's like a portal to another dimension that's just like everything.
I've never gone to Poop Town, but
let's go to Flavor Town. I made out with my hot cousin.
Ew. Okay, Alabama.
She caught feelings and wanted to date. We awkwardly dated for a few months. Once you knew that you're dating your cousin, why?
No, there's nothing good about it.
You know your cousin.
It's not Wincest.
It's one of those stories where it's like, I found this person and we just clicked on so many levels and then we found out later on that we're related. But if you knew growing up, my cousin's hot, I wanna f him. Maybe you shouldn't. Like, rethink your life choices.
At one point do you realize, no, this is not good.
Post-nut clarity usually clears
Dude,
a lot
that post-nut clarity would hit like a fucking bat to the dome.
It's why a lot of these failed ones happen after because it's like you comment, it's like, what have I become?
The ultimate post-nut clarity?
Yeah.
You just nut and you're like, what the fuck? He in my mouth and I was like, nah, this isn't for me.
That's a pretty mild fantasy.
It is mild,
but
dude.
Some people it's just not for them.
I can't imagine having in my mouth.
You can't?
Okay, I can imagine, but I don't want to.
You ever had like a Go-Gurt?
Yeah, I had a Go-Gurt.
So you can imagine having.
But that's cold. Can you imagine if it's hot and more gelatinous?
You never heated up a Go-Gurt packet? Hot yogurt in your mouth?
Ew.
You've had a Hot Pocket before.
Hot Pocket's amazing. That's not like.
The substance that is inside of a Hot Pocket is unknown material. That is basically the same.
Partially is, but at least it's wrapped in bread, and that makes it okay. Do you think anyone's ever nutted in a piece of white Italian bread and then ate it?
That was so specific that I have to ask why. White Italian bread.
White Italian bread is so good and sweet and soft and supple. You ever cut a hole in the loaf of bread?
Hey man, you ever a 1940s vintage blue/green corduroy couch? No, not me, I've never.
Sir, that's oddly specific. We're gonna have to ask you to come into the.
You know the ones that when you cut into them, they're like spongy on the inside? No, I've never done that. That'd be weird. This one, loved having shower sex. Right in the middle, I had a seizure and slid down into the tub almost immediately after finishing. That's real post-nut clarity.
You know, that's
actually it's post-nut unclarity.
This story's a lie because no one likes shower sex.
This person apparently loved it. If you can fetishize having in your mouth, you can fetishize shower sex.
You can. It's just not good.
It's not as
shower sex doesn't hit.
So I had a seizure and slid down the tub almost immediately after finishing. She scooped me up, so lesbian couple.
Oh, okay. Lesbians can probably do it better.
Yeah, it's probably less dry when it's in and out versus
or
I wouldn't do that in the shower. If you are a lesbian and you enjoy sex, please tell me that you have like one of those mats in your shower so you can't slip, because I think scissoring would be incredibly dangerous.
I know nothing about lesbian sex. Can you standing scissor? Like where you both raise a leg and do the like.
Imagine how unstable that would be on a wet surface.
What if you did this?
That's still unstable.
Well, you can lock these legs. You can lock the second leg, right? I don't know what's going on.
I'm just gonna say, if you're a lesbian and you're scissoring in the shower, stop that. You're gonna hurt yourself. Get a bath mat at least.
Get clean and then get dirty.
Eat each other out, but don't do scissor.
Don't do that scissor.
Anyways, she scooped me up, brought me to the bed. When I finally awoke, she laughed. She said, "That good, huh?" If you made someone have a seizure from
yeah, that's a good nut. That's a good nut. I'd give myself a good old pat on the back.
Coma nut, yeah.
Coma nut. Sup, I'm a construction worker. I'm into construction workers, lol. Banging his girl in the backseat of his work truck on his lunch break. It was so hot I wanted to recreate it. My husband is in construction and happened to be working across the street from my job, so I asked him to come me on my lunch break.
Okay.
This is a very convenient situation that's being laid out here. He shows up and we get into it. It smells so bad because it was hot and he had been sweating all day. The truck was bouncing around and we were in a busy parking lot, so I'm sure a lot of people noticed. On top of that, I had to walk back into work with cum leaking through my pants.
There's definitely things that people forget about where it's like, oh my God, must be so romantic. People in movies just like and then they go to sleep. There's smells, there's leakage, there is stains.
I think I'm a rather vanilla person in the sense that I think a bed is nice.
Beds are nice. Sweaty, hot cars are not the greatest unless you have no bed. When I was in high school, it was fine because you don't want to bring someone back.
You make do what you gotta do.
Imagine being embarrassed by your parents for talking to women.
Corey, in high school it was fine because both of us were virgins.
Yeah.
That's why it was fine.
Okay, here's a short one. I wanted a guy with a huge penis to put it all in. I threw up.
Oh, in their mouth? Or?
No, not even their mouth.
Oh.
It was so big, it stirred up their stomach from the other end. And she threw up.
Was he a horse?
Apparently.
That's insane.
This person said, how far did he put it up your vagina? She responded, he hit something you aren't supposed to hit. And the guy said, apparently your uvula.
Really?
From the other end.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know that kind of watery liquid that comes inside packets of feta cheese? That's what pee tastes like.
Ew. What?
So I also ruined feta cheese for myself.
Ew. I mean, feta cheese does have a little musk to it. I've never tried piss, and I'm okay with that staying that way for the rest of my life.
But now you know it tastes like feta cheese packets. Some of these gross.
They're gross, dude.
I think after this, I'm gonna be vanilla for the rest of my life. If you want to try any of these fantasies, let us know in the comments. Anyways,
or if you've tried any fantasies.
Yeah, if you've tried any fantasies, let us know.
Maybe a little anonymous post. Maybe a little like-a-roo, a little subscription. Make sure to check out the uncut and uncensored version of this gross that people do on Patreon.
Anyways, thanks you guys so much for watching. See you next time on Nick and Corey.
Peace.